Welcome to another episode of Travels with Bill. Today we're at Nutimik Lake looking at this amazing bridge. But before we get to that, we better show you how to get to this super cool spot. Our journey today starts on a gravel road along Highway 307. What we're looking for, of course, is a sign that says bridge. If you've been in the Whiteshell, maybe you've seen it, but you've never gone to see what the bridge looks like. Well, today we're going to solve that for you. When you turn off of 307, the first thing you see is this Nutimik Lake camping and picnic area sign. Now what we want to do is just carry on down the gravel road. This is the overnight camping area down here. The seasonal camping's at a bit different spot. We'll show that to you a little bit later on. Before we get to the bridge itself, we find this, and I thought, well, normally I don't show a lot of pictures of washrooms, but in this case it's kind of cool. So we better take a minute, stop, and look at it. So not only is it kind of a washroom thing, you could change clothes here too if you needed to, but look at how cool it is. It's all designed to be part of the Whiteshell Park. Some bicycle parking there. You can see they've done a lot of solar energy here to try and make it be a little bit more sustainable. And what I love the best is the turtle. If you know much about the Whiteshell, you know this is the logo for the Whiteshell. Yeah, the turtle from the petroform site. We'll have to see our video all about petroforms. In the meantime, though, it's a pretty cool turtle. You can peek in there, see a little bit of the change area, and there's a big parking lot here too. So certainly if you're thinking washroom, stop in on your way to the bridge. The next spot we're going to find is a little bridge sign. Now along this road there's some parking just at the side of it. That's what we did. We parked on the side of it, then we worried about going on up to the bridge. You're going to walk to the bridge. It's not super far, but if it's a hot day like the day we were here, you may want to bring a water bottle with you. Now besides just being the path to the bridge, this is also part of a bigger system. So if you're into bird watching, well, maybe you've already been here. If not, check it out. It's Manitoba's Pine to Prairie Birding Trail. Very cool and lots of birds to see along the way. Now as we keep climbing up the path, we're actually going quite high up some rocks. So I wanted to show you part of the path here as we walk on up, and then we're going to take a little look around because there's some pretty cool viewing here once you get up to the top of it. Now we were filming on a day when it was really smoky and really warm. So the walk was a little bit of a challenge. You might want to take it a little slow, but there are spots along the way to stop. We'll show you one of those in a moment. Once you get up here though, look at the view. You're above the trees already, standing up on a little rock outcrop, and way off in the distance you can see a bit of the lake there between the trees too. It's a really cool spot. Now I did mention stopping when you get winded a little bit. That's pretty easy to do because there's a nice bench up here. Of course, a couple folks' names on it in memory of them as they really loved nature, and I bet they love being up here and taking a look around as well. So if you sit on this bench, what exactly do you see? Well, some trees, but look, there's the lake. So cute. Now just a few steps down the path, you'll find this cute little interpretive spot. Now, there is, I guess, a way you could stay dry in there. The roof is kind of open, but if it was raining, you could huddle along the walls. What's really cool, though, is to read through all of the information because there's all the stuff on there that explains to you everything about the area, plus the construction of the bridge itself. And from here, well, you get a pretty good view of the bridge, too, don't you? One of the best ways to see the bridge, at least to see how it looks in nature, is to hop into the air. So let's take a peek at this from the drone. It's a big bridge, isn't it? That's the Whiteshell River. Now, a lot of the water goes through here, of course, from lake to lake in the Whiteshell River system. You'd have to check that out to see all of the different lakes. Today, we're just looking at the Nutimik Lake part of it. So what's the bridge like if you're going to go across? Well, there's another bench there in case you do need a little break, and then over you go to the other side. We're going to walk the whole thing here so you can see exactly what the bridge looks like and know what to expect when you're on it. Now, as far as wiggle goes, it's not too bad. I've been on some suspension bridges that are, well, less than something you want to go across. This one, it was okay. It wasn't too terribly windy the day we were there. There was a bit of wind, but it wasn't scary to go across it. It's got some nice sides on it. It makes you feel pretty secure as you're going across. And as far as the actual bridge deck goes, the wood, it's in great shape. So you don't have to worry about putting your foot through it or slipping or falling at all. It's really, really nice. Now we get out to the middle of the bridge. Let's take a look down the river and see what we're going to see here. Now we're visiting in 2021, and if you know a lot about that year, it was a little bit dry. So you can see how the river certainly is a little bit low here. The lakes are all a little bit low. Everything's a touch low because of the drought that's been going on in Manitoba. You'll also notice there's a lot of smoke in the air. Even the colors of the trees don't necessarily look right in the video. That's because it was so incredibly smoky due to the forest fires when we spent a week in the Whiteshell looking around. So you've got to forgive a little bit of that. It was a beautiful day, but it was almost like twilight just because there was so incredibly much smoke in the air. You'll see that in some more of the aerial shots too, that you really can't see the difference between the ground and the sky way far, just because there's so much smoke from the forest fires. Well, as you cross the bridge, this is part of a bigger walking trail. I know a lot of people turn around here at the end and just go back to where they came from, and, well, I did too. Try not to blame me for that, because I just wasn't really up to a huge long walk when it was really hot. But hey, if you like walking, doing a little hiking, certainly this could be one of the trails for you. Along the trails, there's a lot of interpretive signs. You can see one off to the side there. That one's about river otters, but you'll learn a lot of stuff as you walk. So you'll see a lot of nature, but you'll also learn along the way. So Sturgeon Falls is to the left, about 2 kilometers. If you want to go to the Pine Point Trailhead, that's 8.7 kilometers the other direction. Well, we are going to turn around. Check out how the bridge is anchored, though. Some beautiful rocks there. You can look across the bridge and then look up to see just how tall those 2 big structures are. Those, of course, are the suspension pylons. The bridge actually is suspended off those. All those things that look like ropes are really steel cables. That's what's holding the bridge in the air. Without them, it would just be falling down into the river. I did a lot of looking to see what the best parts of the Whiteshell are, and pretty much every list, this bridge is either at the top or very near the top, because it's just so cool to see. We're going to fly down the river here, though, and look at the rest of Nudamik Lake, because while the bridge is neat, well, there's a lot more to do here than just walk across a bridge and leave. The river goes, well, not too far until it actually hits the lake. There's the water up there, and remember the smoke I was talking about? You can't really tell the difference between what smoke and water is, but trust me, that's water you're looking at, not smoke. See that island up ahead? We're going to check him out a little bit more too, because it's a super cool island, and if you're on the ground you can't necessarily see it as good as you can from the drone, so we'll fly over and take a peek around. As the river comes out here, we're going to fly by the boat launch, and then you can start to see already the big beach there at the campground, which is there for everybody to enjoy. It's a really neat beach too, nice and big. Oh look, there's somebody canoeing down there on the river. That's cool. The river's not too terribly deep, so you can do some canoeing. Now I imagine you can boat on it too, but you'd want to be careful. You can see how shallow it is here in places. Certainly if you're going to do that, I would stop in at the lodge and get one of those depth chart maps they have, so you know exactly where you're going and don't end up wrecking the boat by being there. Looks like someone's putting their boat into the water as we fly by too. On the right hand side, that's that big beach. It's huge, lots of spot there. You can see how the sand comes out for a ways too, so the kids can go in there and really enjoy some swimming. Now you'll notice it looks kind of empty, and there's a reason for that. We're trying to keep the peace with parks and conservation and not film when the beaches are totally full of people unless we have to. So we're here pretty early in the morning before it's really beach going season, so you can take a look around without, having anybody too upset that they're famous from being on camera. Well, here we are ground level. See the island out there? That's what you can see of it from the beach. We will look, though, from the drone in a minute. Look at that huge swimming area. Lots of space there to go swimming, and lots of beach. If you're maybe mom and dad and want to lay out in the sun while the kids go in the water, absolutely you can do that. Now, as far as swimming in this lake, it's cool. It's really good. In fact, all the lakes in the Whiteshell are really good for swimming. Now, some of them, like Batula Lake, have that black algae moss stuff in them. Nudamik doesn't have that. So when you see that beach, it's nice and clean, and you don't have to worry about the sand having any weird stuff in it that's going to get in your toes. There's also some camping area here too. Now, this is the summer of 2021, so we still have the COVID restrictions going on, but certainly at a beach like this, there's lots of different picnic tables. You can pick a spot, keep your distance from people, and when COVID's finally over, which we're hoping for soon, hey, you can have an even bigger party, right? Look at all the nice little campsites there. There's some washrooms here too. And certainly we're not that far from the washroom we looked at earlier on. It would probably be someplace you drive to from the main beach, but there is some trails there and you could make it not too bad. Here's the boat launch. Now it's pretty shallow, a lot of sand here, so when you put the boat in, I think that makes it a little bit easier. I'm not really an expert on boats. If I can get mine in the water without it sinking and then get it back out again, I call it a day, and I really don't look a gift horse in the mouth anymore. But that island, even from the boat launch you can see the island. Well, I think we need to go over there and take a peek, because you'll be amazed what is on that. Well, here we are from the air. See the cabin there? That's kind of cool. We're going to go all the way around so you can see the whole island. Off in the distance, of course, you're seeing Nutimik Lake. The lodge is way down there. We'll get to that yet and show you where the lodge is, but it's that way. If you were to keep on going, we'd get there. I don't know how the island got there. I guess, Mother Nature did that, right? we're in the Canadian Shield area here. That's why you're seeing all the rocks sticking out. But it's pretty neat to me that there is an island. Not the only lake that has one, but this is pretty close to the shore, so you can see it. Of course, you can see the dock there where they come and go to the island, and it's got some stuff built on it, which is kind of cool. Wouldn't you think living on an island would be neat? Curiosity to me, of course, is do they have electricity over there? I don't know. I didn't have any great way to find out either, because I didn't want to go over there and bother the people on the island, but it seems like you could probably run electricity under the water if you really wanted to, but it could be that it's electricity free and even more rustic and cool too. Well, we may have to go back at night sometime and see if there's any electric lights over on the island to finally settle that one. Now, I can tell you what Nudamik means. It's Cree for up the river. So Nutimik Lake Campground is up the river in the Whiteshell Provincial Park. Kind of cool, right? Picnic areas and playground are located near the river. The Nutimik Lake is beside the campground, the Whiteshell River, to the north. If you're not familiar with Manitoba's Whiteshell, this part of the province has lake after lake, resort after resort. We've got a bunch of episodes about different resorts in the area, so check them out. But certainly if you travel up Highway 307 from Seven Sisters all the way to Rennie, you'll keep finding a pile of places like Nudamik Lake that are really, really cool to check out and see. Well, stop for a day, or do like we do and stay overnight, at least a couple nights, and really enjoy the area. Well, Nudamik Lodge is just down the road from here. It's pretty easy to find, obviously. It's on Nudamik Lake, and this is also where you would access the seasonal camping and the day picnic area. But there's lots of stuff at the lodge here. A couple paid telephones in case you don't have a cell phone with you. There is cell phone service in a lot of the Whiteshell. In places it's a little spotty, but for the most part, cell phones will work here. Now, from the lodge, obviously, they have fuel as well, and looking down the road, well, we can see a bridge, and way off in the distance, that's the Whiteshell Museum. We're going to head over there first and take a little look at what you can see. Normally, there'd be boats here. You see, there is one, but see how low the water is? That's again to do with the drought. Normally, this would be a lot higher up, and they'd be parking boats here, and you'd actually drive your boat down this little piece of water out into the main lake. It's not working so well in 2021, but most years, that's how you get the boats out. A Nudamik Lake Lodge rents boats. They'd keep them there. You could rent a boat, and off you go. Whiteshell Museum is just across the river. And check it out. It's kind of cool. Now, the museum is closed when we're visiting because of the COVID thing. We'll have to come back a different day and take a look around at what's on the inside, but you can at least see the outside, and it's really rustic feeling, isn't it? Kind of reminds you a little bit of like Clear Lake and the national parks we have in Canada, how it's built so nice. It's got a little bit of that more Manitoba flavor to it, but it's a nice log building that's been very well maintained, and there's some stuff you can learn from the outside as well. Obviously, being inside would be a little better. You see the windstorm sign going by there. Someday we'll have to talk about that too. But on the outside here, there's some neat stuff. So for example, you can learn about the wood frog. And this is the type of things you find in the park, right? Lots of signs. There's the American toad. Well, it looks like a toad. The mink frog. The spring pepper frog. There's a lot of kinds of frogs, apparently. They've also got a little screen set up because they've been doing some outdoor movies with COVID because you can't do a lot inside. Neat place to visit. If you get a chance, for sure, drop by the Whiteshell Museum. As far as where to park, there's some spots here as well. There's some across the other way. You could always stop in at the store, get some ice cream or something, and then wander on across to the museum, I suppose. Now, here's one of the interpretive signs you'll find. Old copper in Manitoba. So this is talking a little bit about the different thing that happened up to 4,000 years ago. Copper that was then brought here, used in things, and sometimes it's still found in tools and such. Across Manitoba, you'll find these signs. They're all put up by the Historic Sites Board. Propane, boat rentals, liquor, and a bunch more. Now, if you're looking for beer, there are some beer stores around, but Nudamik Lake is one of the ones that's a full vendor. So certainly you can come in here and get, vodka, which happens to be my favorite. Check out this cool little guy, though. The bear is going up the post. Well, what a way to get welcomed to the lodge. There's food at Nudamik Lake as well, and well, there's a friend too. Barkley's Diner. So I love the Jeep. It's so green, and you notice how there's a bit of a Sasquatch theme going on there? Well, that's why Barkley's here. Now, you're not supposed to feed the Sasquatch, but you can certainly take your picture with him and have a pretty cool time looking around at the Sasquatch. Check out all the food too, and see all the stuff on the wall? That's kids that have colored the photos of the Sasquatch so you can, see their handiwork. Pretty neat place to check out. Now, I did want to look at the campground before we go to give you a little view of what those sites are like. I know everybody's always curious, if you're not from the area, are these sites with a bunch of trees, sites where you're all right beside your neighbor? Well, here at Nudamik Lake, they are sites with a bunch of trees. This is the overnight camping area, so not seasonal. This is what you would rent if you go on the Manitoba Parks website and find a spot. So as you can see, you certainly will have some neighbors, but the neighbors won't be too close, will they? Because there's quite a lot of space in between and trees, and what a beautiful area. Well, we're going to leave you with a little bit of a look around Nudamik Lake as we look both at the campground. We'll see the bridge here for a second, and then we'll just fly back along the river and end up at the island. If you haven't already subscribed to Travels with Bill, why don't you click the subscribe button right now as you're watching the video, and hit that like button as well. It does a couple things. One is it sure helps us out as we spread all the good information about the different places you can travel throughout Canada. It also helps make sure our results end up a little higher, but it helps you too, because it makes sure that you are able to see our next episode. See how the river snakes off there into the distance? That is so cool. I wish it wasn't so smoky, or we would have been able to show you that a little bit better at our visit. We'll have to go back, I guess, another year and get some better pictures when there's not so much smoke. But that's how much of the Whiteshell is. Nice winding rivers, not a lot of current necessarily, like the river's running away, because it just goes from one lake to the next through the river. Very nice place. Well, that does it for this episode of Travels with Bill. I hope you've enjoyed it. And hey, if you're looking for more information about the Whiteshell, we have a bunch of episodes about it. So just search it up, hit the channel, and you will find more about them, including a place just down the road from here, Pinewood Lodge, which is an amazing place to stay if you're looking for more of the hotel atmosphere instead of roughing it with a tent. Well, do check out Pinewood. If you get a chance, though, also come to Nudamik Lake. See the bridge, stop it at the store, tell them Bill sent you from Travels with Bill. Farewell for now, from Nudamik Lake in the Whiteshell Provincial Park in Manitoba, Canada. We'll see you again next time.